Greetings travellers. In this vid I'd like to share with you the things that I have learned building my low orbit base. Check the links below for more details about the actual build. This is just to establish a low orbit base. So the first step is to find the right planet in the right system. This is actually probably the longest step. Because it's a low orbit base, we want to have a nice background of stars. And within this system, you should build on an airless planet. It might take a while to find the perfect system, but I think it's worth it for the view. As you can see here, even within the atmosphere, there are no clouds or sky obstructing your view of the stars. If you're not using creative mode and you need power, the next step is to find an EM hotspot on the planet's surface, preferably at a low point on the terrain. When you found a good one, build a save beacon to mark the spot. The EM energy actually travels in an invisible cylinder all the way up to the top of the atmosphere. So now let's look at the technique that I used to build a base computer in low orbit. A quick shout out to Beeblebum with his video, which is how I learnt to use this technique. So the basis of this technique is, as soon as you activate a new base computer, it's live, even during the zoom out animation. So what we want to try and do is build a landing pad a couple of seconds after the animation starts to zoom back down to the planet. Just a couple of things to make sure of before we do this is that you have the required materials to build a landing pad and that you are in free placement mode. You might want to practice finding the landing pad on the building menu before we do this. So I deleted the previous base computer and built a new one, and let's give it a try. One, two, and build. So remember, not at the very top, but a couple of seconds after you've started falling back down to the planet. So there we can see the landing pad way up there. Now's a good time to make a new restore point, either in your ship or at the save point, and then reload it just to make sure you haven't put it too high. If the landing pad vanishes after the reload, just delete the base computer and try again. So get into your ship and fly up to the landing pad and land on it. So if you open your build menu, you can see that all of the build parts are still available. But just remember, you're at the outer limits of the original base computer down on the surface. So what we want to do is establish a new base at this altitude. To do this, we'll use the exocraft pads and geobays to leapfrog outside of the current base limits. So build up and away from the landing pad, fly up and check to see if you've reached beyond the base limit. Nope, so let's try again. As there's only a 1 per base limit for these, you'll have to delete them as you go, or alternately use a different one each time. You can probably notice that I'm building outwards more than upwards, just because we're so close to the outer build limit of the planet. I don't want to go too high. Another nope, so we'll try again. Okay, success. Or it looks like success, but in actual fact, it's not. Because although we're outside the build limit of our base, we still are too close to build another base. But we're getting close. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so we're able to claim our base this time. So before we go any further, we want to make sure that we are still within the limits of the planet's atmosphere. So we want to build another landing pad, summon our ship, make a restore point, and reload. Okay, well, the landing pad is still there, so we're all good to keep going. So after moving the new base computer onto the landing pad, we can go ahead and delete all the exocraft bays and the base down below. Woohoo! While it's okay to delete the base, you should not delete the save beacon because that marks our EV hotspot. During the base deletion animation, it's a good chance for you to get an idea of how far away you are now from the EV hotspot, because we're going to have to make our way back over there so we can tap into the energy. Of course, if you're planning to use solar or the creative mode, you don't need to worry about this step, so please skip to this timecode for the last step to check the height limit for your base. To get back over the EM hotspot, I essentially played Marco Polo with the EM generators. By checking the energy output of each generator, I could see if I was getting closer or not. So I built out in each direction and placed a generator at the farthest point, then checked the readings, and whichever had the highest energy output, I'd rinse and repeat from there. So 192 is pretty good. I reckon that's as good as I'll get it. So now I'll build another landing pad, and this will be the center point for my new orbital base. So we're getting close now. All we have to do is call in my ship, go and retrieve my base computer and bring it back, and then I can go ahead and delete the other old landing pad and my other platforms. Just keep in mind that if you do move your base computer, the center of your base is still where you originally built that base computer. So the final step is that we want to check the maximum height that we can build before we hit the outer build limit of the planet. So an easy way we can do this is to build a wall 5 high, and then we can use a floor plate to mark it, then create a restore point, reload and see if it's still there. As you can see, I had to go quite high, but every time you do this, make a new restore point and then reload it, and eventually you'll hit the top. If you build one tall tower immediately, that's fine, but just remember that the hidden objects are not actually gone, they're still there, they're just invisible, so they will add to your build count. Okay, so finally we can see the top part of that tower is missing now. So that means that is our maximum height build. So anything under that is perfectly fine. So that's what I learned when I built my low orbit base. I hope it was helpful, and good luck with yours. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you later.